Good morning, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, and welcome to this week's Weekly Energy Boost. My name is Elisheva, and today Eitan and I are breaking down how unproductive is the new productive. Really, this is the week where we are being invited to embrace stillness, to embrace the unknown, to embrace those periods of no results, of lack of clarity, of even some Kabbalists go so far as to call it feeling helpless. When you feel that there's nothing else left for you to do, that's when the diamonds are being created. And this week is a huge opportunity for us to open ourselves up to allowing the light to take over and help us to bridge those gaps between the known and the unknown. Weekly Energy Boost is a 7-day spiritual weather forecast where we provide our listeners with the most practical and powerful tools to navigate the coming 7 days. We do that by gleaning through the wisdom of Kabbalah and showcasing wisdom and tools and even real-life experiences so that you can not only get the most out of this week, but you can use this wisdom and these tools any week of the year, any year of your life. And there's a convergence of two energies this week that really ask us to step up and embrace the not knowing, the not doing, the not needing to justify your worth or your value by how much you produce, which is so much the illness that exists definitely in the United States, but I think for people living all over the world, we have trouble resting. We have trouble turning off our phones. We have trouble not having the answers, not knowing, not being able to control what's going on around us. And this is the week to lean into those moments. And if you're not experiencing one of those moments now, to get excited because for sure you have one in your future. So Eitan, where should we begin?
I think what's beautiful about this weekly energy, which the Torah speaks about the concept of Shemitah. Shemitah, it's the spiritual law that tells the farmers in the land of Israel, which we know the Torah doesn't speak just about land, that every 7th year, let go of working the land. Don't be productive. Leave it alone. Leave it fallow. Don't work the land. Don't enjoy from the fruits of the land. Don't sell the crops or the vegetables or the fruits from the land. Nothing. Let it go. Shemitah means really let it go. Let it be. And basically every farmer in the land of Israel needs to trust that in the 6th year, somehow will be enough for the 7th year, it will be enough for the 6th year, 7th year, and 8th year, because only in the 8th year they'll start to work the land. So what is the idea of Shemitah, of let go? Don't work the land. Don't choke the land. While yes, we're here in this world to try to be productive, to make our own effort, but there's a big difference between productive or controlling, or thinking I am the one that making things happen, and my productivity is my identity, and that's what makes me feel good about myself. The concept of Shemitah, the concept of letting go, is the 7th year, when I don't actually do anything for the land, when I don't plow any seeds, that's where everything is happening in a hidden, deeper way. All the crops, all the blessings, all the fruits for the next cycle of the next 7 years is happening when we do nothing. The same thing Shabbat, the 7th day, from Friday night to Saturday night. While we try to disconnect from the worries of this world, from controlling, from fixing things, from healing things, from making money, from looking at our phone and look at the news and what changed and let go of our plans. All the blessings of the coming week available when I have zero productivity towards achieving anything. It's the paradox of life. When we do nothing, that's when renewal and blessings that are not detected by any movement or any manifestations or any changes or any productivity from my point of view. I don't see any of that. But that's where everything is happening. And that's counterintuitive to our typical perception. When something is not okay, we want, let's do something. Let's change it. Let's fix it. Let's be productive about it. I might need to be productive. Yes, we live in a world of actions. You need to do things. But before I do anything, I need to let go of control and allows the light of the Creator, the source of all good, to rejuvenate me for the next cycle of productivity, to rejuvenate the situation, to rejuvenate my body, to rejuvenate my business, to rejuvenate my relationship. The non-attachment, the letting go of control and total trust that when I see no movement, that's where all the movement is happening, allows renewal and rejuvenation. And it's a balance in life, when to do and when not to do, when to be awake and when to sleep, when to focus on solving problem, when to let go of solving problem completely and disconnect it from the problem completely, and actually learning the art of embrace the unresolved, embrace the imperfect, embrace the unknown, embrace the unfixed. Let go of control. The Rav Berg used to say, when we are so busy controlling situation, we're pushing away the light of the Creator to take control over the situation.
Yeah, and here comes Kabbalah and says, this type of letting go, we need to do proactively. We need to time it. We need to schedule it. It's not something, and I think that a lot of people are listening to you and saying, okay, I can let go. I don't have to be busy with that. I can delegate that. This is not about delegating. This is about, right, when you look at the agricultural kind of analogy, literally the soil needs to rest, right? If a farmer wants a crop to be strong and healthy and to be able to produce year on year on year, the land needs to rest physically. What is the land for those of us who are not in agriculture? Why is it that the universe, and this is, I think, what's going through a lot of people's minds as they're hearing this wisdom is, if I take my hands off the wheel, things are going to go wrong. If I'm not on top of my employees, my emails, my family, if I'm not micromanaging, if I'm not, trying to one up the competition, if I'm not on all the time and making it my business to know everything and be in something's going to fall apart. Why is it so hard for us to let go? And this is the other thing that I think it's important to point out. If we're not good at letting go, if we're not good at taking our hands off the wheel, the universe forces us to do that because our constant busyness, and now I'm talking just in a very physical way, it's not sustainable. Many people work themselves into, they get sick and they're flat on their back for 2 weeks because they didn't take the time to rest and all those things. Here we're talking about something bigger. If a person strong arms everything in their life and is so convinced that their value is determined by how much they produce, how many hours they work, how much praise they get from their boss and all those things, the source of that false fulfillment will need to be taken away from them. They'll need to be stuck in that place of unknown, unproductive, incapable, so that they can learn, right? This is something we're meant to do proactively, but the universe has a safety catch where if we're not doing it proactively, we will get smacked upside the head by it and be forced to sit in that stillness and lack of clarity and almost like immobility, that we're not even able to do anything about it if we don't consciously implement periods like that for ourselves, like you said, like Shabbat, or some people take a sabbatical. It's not that's the word. Sabbatical is the English word for Shemitah. That's really what people do. They take a year off to figure things out. They're not working, they're not showing up, they're not producing, but there is an even deeper spiritual purpose for this. And it's very much connected to this week. Eitan, I wonder if we can talk about that as well. Why is it so necessary energetically to be in that space of there's nothing I can do right now?
Yes, first, I have to tell you, for myself, every time I feel drained for some reason, for me, it's indication I'm trying to over control the situations. Even in my own mind, overthink, over try to fix. Because there's a balance between where I truly surrender to the fact I don't have control, take over, let me do my part, period. So every time I'm overdoing my part and I'm blocking the light, I'm drained. What is drain? Depletion of energy. So for me, that's a sign. Another thing is very important. There's a concept in Kabbalah called Or Mekif, surrounding light, or Primi, inner light. Inner light is the level of consciousness that we are at today. Surrounding light is our potential, our next level. All our goal in this world is to gradually expand from my inner light towards my surrounding light, then my surrounding light become my inner light, and there's always next level. My next level is my surrounding light. The Creator wants to allow me to experience my potential, my surrounding light. My surrounding light is beyond my scope of understanding. My understanding, or my view of reality, of my view of situations, allow me only to get my inner light. My surrounding light, I don't have the scope of understanding. I don't have the control. And the moment of transition between inner and surrounding is the moment of, I don't know, I don't clue, I'm surrender, I'm open for rejuvenations of my consciousness, of my reality, because trying to control everything based on what I see, it's presumptuous and it's actually consciousness of ego. I know everything. I know how things needs to work. So allowing this space between inner and surrounding, between actual and potential, is that unknown space that allow me to download something I never had before. Renewal of energy. By the way, just to remind everyone, this week is the death anniversary of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, one of the happiest days of the year, the order of the Zohar. And it says the light of the Zohar is not just the ancient book of Kabbalah that had all this source of powerful wisdom. Actually communicating, reading, scanning, connecting with the teaching, the words, the letters of the Zohar expose us to our surrounding light, exposing us to the dimension beyond where I'm at. And the whole idea of spiritual growth is I want to grow to a level I have no clue how this level look like. And in order to move to that level, I need to allow, without response, without worry, that level beyond to take over. And if I'm trying to control everything, basically what I'm trying to control, I'm trying to fit life into the limited box of my inner light. So actually, sometimes, when we are going through a struggle, the Kabbalists explain is the surrounding light, which is my potential light, try to enter into my vessel, and the struggle is fighting that barrier, that klipa, and sometimes you cannot just control that the struggle will go away. Allow that struggle. How long? I want to feel at peace. What is the spiritual tool I can feel at peace with that struggle? The fact that you allow that struggle and you understand your surrounding light, your light of potential is pushing and healing and allowing newness to come. Also about those moments, I need to let go of control.
And I think inside that is another nugget that this whole, not only the wisdom itself, but the pattern that the universe has of putting us in that state of slamming on the brakes, is that we're meant in those moments, in that 7th year, or in that moment where we surrender and we ask the light to take, like, that's the purpose. The purpose is to grow our connection, to grow our certainty that it's the light of the Creator doing everything, not just me. Not me at all, in fact. I'm here just to make the physical effort and the physical reality. I need to work the land. And again, I think it's a beautiful metaphor because it really does illustrate the way that we even approach in 2026 the things that we try to manifest in our own lives. Even though I'm told this wisdom, I need to let the land, let it be for a year, part of it is me strengthening my own certainty that I may have to work the land. I have to put forth the effort. I have to do the work of transforming and expanding and elevating my consciousness. But the seeds, the fruit that grows in my field, grows because there's light in those seeds, because the Creator is the force behind all blessing in the world. And so, it's like telling the farmer, and obviously each one of us is that farmer, even though you're the one working the land, you do not control the fruit.
Beautiful. The strength, even for the next cycle of controlling the land, or being successful, or growing spiritually, is those moments that I'm allowing. And there's another powerful point in the Zohar about this portion. Sometimes you get clear message of doing something that doesn't make sense. Do actions of giving that doesn't make sense. Help someone that doesn't make sense. Risk that doesn't make sense. Start a new business and let go of the old that doesn't make sense. When you don't have clear, safe footing of your next step. This is also kind of Shemitah. This is also kind of sabbatical. You give sabbatical to your reactive, logical mind. And you say, you know what? There's a clear urge. Go with that. Yeah, but I don't see clearly how I'm going to be safe. It's risking. Yeah. Most of the times you make decisions that make sense. But 1/7 of the time, so that's what the sabbatical, are you willing to do things that don't make sense? Because those are the time we expose ourselves to the help from above to truly renewed, be rejuvenated. If not, I'm get stuck of the old me, and boxed into my inner light and not create space for my surrounding light.
And it's also true because if you look at your own life and think of the moments where you grew in your certainty, that your consciousness was strengthened, it wasn't because you heard a beautiful teaching or you read a beautiful book or you watched a beautiful clip on Instagram. It was because you experienced a period of unknowing darkness, almost, like I said before, immobility, like there's nothing you can do. And you trust, and it works out even better than you can imagine. And as a result, your certainty is strengthened. So without that gap that you spoke about, Eitan, without the taking that risk, I'm not going to work one day a week. And I know that it's not only not going to affect my bottom line, it's going to make my bottom line better because I'm using that vacuum to grow my certainty. I'm going to trust, and I am going to see the fruits of my trust. The real lesson for me is that it's not the fruits of my labor that I want to harvest. It's the fruits of my trust.
Beautiful. I love it. That's the reason, by the way, I remember when Michael Berg spoke about it. We live in a world that you need to have plans for the day. Plans. Plans where you're meeting, how can I be more productive, even plans for meditation. The best moments is when things don't go according to our plan. And the natural tendency, I'm missing out. But imagine, this when you allow Shemitah, letting go, sabbatical of the mind, of my own plan, to allow the plan of the light to take over. I'm not saying do nothing and be lazy. Do the best that you can. But that thoughts, it's not according to plan, it's bad. That's blocking the renewal from above.
It's so true. And if it's okay with you, I wanted to end this week's episode with the end of an article by Karen Berg written
Beautiful.
about 1 year where it was both. We have 2 portions this year, and it was a year that it fell exactly in this way. And Karen is talking about that, right? Not thinking that it's our work that creates the results, but it's the light of the Creator that sustains the results we experience in our lives. So just a few lines. If you're listening to this and you're not driving or anything and you want to close your eyes, there's a beautiful visual that I think can help us really tap into that limitless potential of surrounding light that each one of us has, and that we'll use this week, the energy and of course, Lag BaOmer, the opening to connect to the limitless potential that each one of us has. I think that it's a beautiful way to start that journey this week. The light is telling us that our contentment, joy, and blessings come from energy and not from physical things. We may wish to attempt to fill ourselves by receiving life's pleasures, but ultimately we may be left even more unsatisfied. Our soul is hungry for what the physical world cannot provide. We are not sustained by bread alone. Our souls yearn for the light of the Creator that can be tapped into the moment we decide to awaken it in our hearts. Making the choice and becoming like the Creator is the moment we begin to live. It is through giving that we receive the true light that we seek. It is the light that lasts, fulfills, and the light that we were created to reveal. This week in your meditation, take yourself to an open field. See the beautiful flowers cover the ground on which you walk barefoot. You feel a warm ground below you, and above you, a sky wide and blue. The sun's light bathes the land and your body. The warmth can be felt on your skin and face. You decide to sit down in this beautiful meadow of flowers. The Creator's light feeds every blade of grass, every petal, every leaf, and every inch of your body. You feel yourself being bathed in a true light that heals, nurtures, supports, and satiates. The light provides for every plant, animal, and human in this great world. We need only to choose it. Let go of those sources that have proven not to serve you in the past. Turn away from them and turn toward the Creator. Embody the energy of love, mercy, and sharing. Allow yourself to receive all that is possible in order for you to share it with others. Open your heart to others, and the Creator will open all the gates unto you. And on that note, we want to remind you, Weekly Energy Boost is available on all podcast platforms, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. You can follow us on those platforms to receive more content to support you in living what we share in every episode. You can also visit our website, weeklyenergyboost.com, where you can search through our archives, send us a message, and click the donate button to help make Weekly Energy Boost possible. But most importantly, share this episode and help make this consciousness of expansion and really tapping into our true essence. Let that be the norm and not the exception. And we'll see you next week on Weekly Energy Boost.